Oh, that is bright. What's up guys and welcome back. Last video I went over all the details of the new Vision F1 chassis kit. Today, let's build this bad boy up. I'm pretty excited to build this thing up because who doesn't love a brand new bike? But I was also kind of teased in Louisville when I only rode it for 3 half-ass laps. So I'm excited to build it up with my permanent parts and give it a proper test. So let's get to it and slap it a base. Not slap it a base, but put it together. Never mind.
Slap at the bass, mama. Slapping the bass, mama.
There you go.
Slap at that bass, mama. I slap at that bass.
Please don't do that.
So this bike goes together pretty easy. It's pretty much just cut and dry like a normal bike. The only things that are different are in the rear end of the bike. So let's go ahead and start putting the front together. I always like to start on the front of the bike and build it up because once you get the front end together, it actually starts to look like a bike. Now that the bike is actually kind of looking like a bike, next thing we're gonna do is give this video a thumbs up because it helps the algorithm and I'd really appreciate it. The next thing I'm gonna do is put on the V-brake mounts. For now, I'm gonna be running V-brakes because I haven't gotten all the parts to run disc. I do plan on switching over to disc. I actually built up some new wheels with a disc hub, but for now I'm sticking to the trusty old V-brakes. These mounts are pretty simple to install. They have 2 screws per mount, and literally all you have to do is line up the holes, run in the 2 screws, tighten them down, and you're set. You're ready to put on your brake posts. Now we can move to the dropouts and install the idler and the flip chips. So with the idler, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it has a little slot. The flip chip slides inside and locks this guider in. On the bottom of the dropout, there's a little slit. What you're gonna do is slide the guider up into the frame, and then with the idler set into the frame, now you can slip in your flip chip. In this case, I'm gonna try it with the flip chip forward just so I can try out the shorter wheelbase. If I don't like it, I can just pull off my back wheel, pop the flip chips out, flip them to the back and pop them back in. And even with doing that and the adjustability of the guide, I shouldn't have to mess with my chain. And then with the flip chip for the non-drive side, just make sure it's facing the same way and it pops right in there. With the idler and the flip chip set into place, now all we have to do is install the back wheel. I will say that I did get longer axle bolts only because with the thickness of the dropout and with my flip chip being a 15mm, I have to run the adapters that make your axle from 10mm up to 15mm. So with the thickness and then the added washers, the shorter bolts don't catch a lot of threads on the inside of the hub. So I went and picked up some longer ones at Ace Hardware for like $8. Since the rear wheel is basically a fixed rear end, you can just go ahead and put on your rear wheel, tighten it down, and you don't have to worry about it again. All I'm gonna have to do is adjust my brake pads, cut my chain to length, and then adjust the idler as needed. Since we have the back wheel on now, I'm just gonna go ahead and put the front wheel on, so that way we have a full-on rolling bike. So since I've already built up this bike, I actually have a chain that's pre-cut already to the length I want. But what you're gonna wanna do is set your idler about halfway from up and down, just right in the middle. And then when you cut your chain, you can run your chain all the way around the sprocket and the idler and either cut it to where it's a little too tight or cut it to where you have a little bit of slack. That way you can either loosen the idler to get the perfect tension or slide it down a little bit to tighten your chain. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wrap my pre-cut chain all the way around and then use the idler to adjust the tension. One last thing to do to complete the build is route the cable through the top tube and out through the back for the V-brakes. I don't have one of those fancy brake routing cable kits, and I think it's available on the Supercross website. So if you're planning on routing your cable through your frame, head onto the website and grab one of those. But for now, all I do is fish the top of the cable through the top of the top tube, and then on the other hole I kind of catch it with a flathead screwdriver or anything to just kind of help it guide out through that hole. And then once I'm done, I just slide those little easy clips in there, snap them in, and the routing is done. All right, that's how you assemble the new Supercross BMX Vision F1 frame, V-brake style. I still have to go through and tighten down the handlebars and the headset and make sure everything's good. I don't want to be going out to the track and a wheel falls off, so. Someone is shooting off fireworks while I'm trying to film. It's okay, I'll wait, no problem. I don't have to cook dinner or anything. You done? I think they're done. So yeah, got the bike all put together, tighten everything down, and then we can test ride it. Thank you guys again for sticking around. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. It's always nice to see your lovely faces through the camera screen. I'll see you guys next time. Sunday! I need to go eat, I'm hungry.